People have died just trying to reach the number one. Here are the most dangerous places on the planet, ranked. Today, we're ranking the deadliest locations on Earth by the raw danger they pose to any human who steps inside. We're measuring this by fatality rates, hostile conditions, and the survival odds once you're actually there. The gap between number 10 and number 1 on this list is genuinely disturbing. Stay to the end, because the number 1 spot is a place most people have never even heard of. We rank these on documented deaths, extreme environmental hazards, and how quickly the place can kill you. Rex only counted locations where the danger is real, ongoing, and backed by actual records. Let's start the countdown from the bottom. Coming in at number 10, we have Mount Washington in New Hampshire that looks like a friendly tourist peak with a road running to the summit. Then the weather turns, and it holds one of the most extreme wind records ever recorded on the surface of the planet. Gusts here have hit around 231 miles per hour, and hikers have frozen to death within sight of the parking lot. More than 160 people have died on this mountain since records began. It earns the 10th spot because it kills through pure deception. It feels safe until it suddenly isn't. But the next place trades cold winds for something far more toxic. At number 9, Lake Nyos in Cameroon looks like a peaceful blue crater lake in the highlands. In 1986, that lake silently released a massive cloud of carbon dioxide from its depth. The gas rolled down the surrounding valleys and suffocated around 700 people and thousands of livestock in a single night. Villagers didn't drown, didn't burn, didn't see it coming. They simply stopped breathing in their sleep. Scientists now vent the lake with pipes, but the pressure keeps building beneath it. Lake Nyos ranks here because it can turn an entire region into a graveyard without warning. Still, the next entry doesn't wait for a rare event, it kills every single day. At number 8, we have the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia, one of the hottest inhabited places on Earth. Ground temperatures here can climb past 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and the air feels like an open oven. The landscape is dotted with acid pools, sulfur vents, and lava lakes that would dissolve a human in minutes. Some sections sit below sea level, trapping the heat and toxic gases like a lid. Explorers have collapsed from heat stroke, and armed conflict in the region has claimed lives too. Danakil ranks above Lake Nyos because the danger is constant, visible, and completely unforgiving. But the next place doesn't just cook you, it hides its threats underwater. At number 7, Jacob's Well in Texas looks like a beautiful natural swimming hole. Beneath the surface, though, it spirals into a narrow, twisting underwater cave system. At least 8 divers have died trying to explore its lower chambers, wedged into passages they couldn't back out of. The water is crystal clear, which lures divers deeper than their training allows. Rescue teams sometimes can't even recover the bodies without risking more lives. Jacob's Well earns the spot because it kills confident, experienced people who thought they knew better. Now, we're leaving the water and heading into a full-blown killing ground. At number 6, we have Death Valley in California, and yes, it lives up to the name. Summer temperatures here have hit around 134 degrees Fahrenheit, the highest reliably recorded on Earth. Tourists have died within a few miles of their cars after underestimating a short desert walk. The ground itself can climb past 200 degrees, hot enough to burn skin on contact. Dehydration here doesn't take hours, it takes minutes once you're exposed. Death Valley ranks higher than Danakil for one reason: millions of tourists actually go there. But the next location swaps heat for pure toxic dread. At number 5, we have Lake Karachay in Russia, once used as a dumping site for radioactive waste. At its peak, standing on the shore for an hour was enough to deliver a lethal radiation dose. The Soviet Union filled it with the byproducts of nuclear weapons production for decades. When drought exposed the sediments, radioactive dust blew across surrounding villages. Officials have since buried much of it under concrete, but the contamination is still there. Karachay earns this ranking because it kills invisibly, from the inside out, with no warning at all. Now we're heading somewhere the danger comes from every direction at once. At number 4, the Darien Gap between Colombia and Panama is a stretch of jungle with no roads and no rules. Migrants attempting the crossing face armed groups, venomous snakes, disease, and rivers that swallow people whole. Hundreds of bodies have been recovered from this jungle in recent years, and many more are believed lost. There's no reliable rescue, no signal, and often no path. Just wet forest and desperation. The Darien Gap ranks this high because both nature and people here are actively trying to kill you. But the next place is where the mountain itself becomes the enemy. And number 3, we have K2, the second tallest mountain in the world, and by far the most brutal to climb. Roughly 1 climber dies for every 4 who reach the summit, a fatality rate that dwarfs Everest. The final stretch, known as the bottleneck, sits under a hanging wall of ice that regularly collapses. Storms move in without warning, and rescue above 8,000 meters is essentially impossible. Climbers have died just meters from the summit, and their bodies often remain on the mountain forever. K2 earns third because it punishes even the world's most elite mountaineers every single season. Now we're moving to a place that isn't a mountain, a jungle, or a lake. It's a small island. At number 2, we have North Sentinel Island in the Indian Ocean, home to one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. Anyone who approaches the shore has been met with arrows, and several intruders have been killed on sight. The Indian government has made it illegal to go near the island, both to protect visitors and the Sentinelese themselves. Fishermen who drifted too close have never come back, and their bodies were reportedly buried on the beach. There is no negotiation here, no rescue, and no second chance if you land. North Sentinel ranks this high because the danger is absolute. Arrive, and you almost certainly die. Do you agree with the ranking so far? Drop your own number 1 in the comments before the reveal. But nothing on this list quite compares to what's coming at number 1. At number 1, we have the Afar Triangle's active volcanic zone, and specifically Mount Nyiragongo in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nyiragongo holds one of the largest active lava lakes on the planet, churning inside its crater like an open wound. When it erupts, the lava flows faster than a person can run, up to around 40 miles per hour downhill. In 1977 and again in 2002, those flows tore through nearby villages and the city of Goma, killing hundreds. Scientists studying the crater have fallen in, been overcome by gases, or been trapped by sudden collapses. People have literally died just trying to reach the rim to study it. Climbers, researchers, and rescue teams alike. The surrounding region also carries armed conflicts, disease outbreaks, and toxic gas pockets called mazuku that suffocate sleepers overnight. Nyiragongo takes the top spot because it combines every category of danger on this list: heat, terrain, gas, altitude, and human conflict. There's no other place on Earth where nature is this actively hostile, this consistently deadly, and this hard to escape. Quick recap of the top 3. K2 at number 3, North Sentinel Island at number 2, and Mount Nyiragongo taking the top spot. Do you agree with the number 1? If you'd swap it for somewhere else, tell Rex exactly where in the comments. If this ranking hit for you, the ranking of the most dangerous animals on Earth is even wilder. That one might change how you see nature entirely. Subscribe and turn on the bell because Rex drops a new ranking every week, and next time we settle an even bigger debate. The deadliest places aren't always the loudest. Sometimes the quietest ones are where people never come back from. This ranking is based on general research and is meant to inform and entertain for educational and entertainment purposes only.